How you doing, everybody? I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
And this is Smack Talk. We're going to talk about the EPL. We're going to give you a little preview, even though the last time you saw us, we were talking about soccer, too.
Yeah, soccer all year round, baby. We will have our NFL season preview on the next show, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
we'll
get excited about the NFL, man, because it's on the way.
Get in depth. I did go see a Chargers-Cowboys game in San Diego, in which the Cowboys
I'll hold back.
Got their
I'll hold back.
rear behind kicked.
If you become a Cowboys fan because of your lady, I'm going to be really upset.
Oh, I like the Cowboys.
Oh, he likes the Cowboys all of a sudden.
I'm a Steelers
It's amazing
fan.
what a blonde can do to you. So in the EPL Week 1, let's go over some games.
Hold on. Before we start about Week 1, let's talk about what kicks off the season. The Community Shield.
All right.
Arsenal beat Man City 3-0 in the Community Shield. That's their second trophy in 3 months. It was 3-0. A beautiful goal by Giroud, which the announcers claim was deflected. But if you watch the replay, it's just a beautiful shot.
One deflected off of a dude's face.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, the Aaron Ramsey goal, which is cool because Chesney should get a secondary assist because he goes to goal clear and he bounces off dude's face from Man City. It bounces off his face and goes wide out to Alexis Sanchez, who has all the space in the world, who looks great, by the way.
You know what's upsetting to me?
Yaya Sanogo?
Oh, well, besides that. When you watch soccer or football, whatever you prefer, unlike hockey, it doesn't give the first pass before the assist an assist also.
It's a secondary assist. It's not.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you had, let's say, the Ronaldo cross in the World Cup against the U.S., that's an assist. But let's just say the dude put it back to somebody else. What a beautiful cross to not give an assist to.
Yeah, they're not going to give the assist to Ronaldo.
Because it's a secondary pass, which sucks.
Yeah, I agree with you. They do keep track of it. Statisticians do, but the league itself does not keep track of it, which probably end up changing one day because, like you said, one of these days, some famous person like Lionel Messi is going to have a sick secondary assist, and they're just going to,
No, I agree. And just like I agree that, like college football, the EPL will eventually go to a playoff.
Yeah. Don't think so.
Whatever. So games the first week. Arsenal won the Community Shield. Games first week, Manchester United versus Swansea City.
First game for Van Gaal?
In the EPL, yeah. He's undefeated so far, so we'll see what happens.
Is that at home or is that in Wales?
The home team is on the left here, so United's at home.
Old Trafford.
Old Trafford.
First game at Old Trafford as head coach. He will have Ryan Giggs on his bench. It'll be interesting to see if he gives playing time to the 5 players who are surplus to his requirements. Chicharito, Mario Fellaini, Anderson, and Nani. And then there's one more, I forget who, but Raphael.
Yeah, which was a surprise to me because, well, when you're playing the 3-5, the 3 backs, you don't really need Raphael.
Yeah.
The big thing for United, though, is Antonio Valencia and Ashley Young are going to start playing bigger parts now.
Yeah, because they're both they're
going to play wing back.
Yeah.
So Swansea City, they lost what? Michu?
They lost Michu. They still have Wilfred Boney, who's up for sale. Swansea has signed a few players. They also lost Gary Medel.
Last year, there was a big hit to them with Dwyer going down.
Yeah, Dwyer's healthy. So, the question is the midfield going to be okay without Michu? Although Michu didn't have a great second season, they kind of like cash in because if he has a third bad season, they're not going to get any money for him. They only paid $2 million for him. They sold him for $8 million. So they make $6 million. It's a smaller club. They need the money. That'll be an interesting game, especially since it's Van Gaal's first game. So Swansea's going to try to play spoiler. You always have some week 1 upsets. Not saying that that's going to be an upset, but Swansea will probably try to play as if it is. West Brom versus Sunderland. Will Josie Altidore get the start? I don't think so.
Probably not. No, unfortunately, Josie hasn't shown his type of class in the EPL yet.
Nope.
It's disappointing, especially because we all know what he could have done in the World Cup if he didn't get injured.
Yep.
Stoke versus Aston Villa. I hate to say it already, but it's a relegation battle already.
First week of the season, everyone's got 0 points. Stoke versus Aston Villa, relegation battle.
Hey,
I love that.
Is it not?
It could be. It has a chance.
Those
teams, I feel,
I don't think that Villa will be as low as Stoke because they're having Benteke come back.
The more Lambert's on a job, just like with Norwich, the longer Lambert's on the job, the more he shapes the team. He switches his tactics. Benteke is going to be healthy. He was injured for most of the season last year.
And that's a young team that's just getting older and better by the year. So
exactly.
Did they get rid of Egbonglahor?
No, Gabriel Bonglahor still there.
There you go.
Yeah, that's actually their most capped player.
Oh, there you go. You got Leicester.
Leicester City
versus Everton. What do you think? Is this team even worthy of being up?
The Tigers. They'll stay up.
They'll stay up?
Yeah, they'll stay up.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that.
They'll stay up. Trust me.
I guarantee you they lose this game.
They just signed Esteban Cambiaso.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
But he's like, what, 40-some-odd years old?
He's 34.
Oh, okay.
But his dreams always to play in the Premier League, and he passed it up when he was young and could have went to like a Man U, Chelsea at the time.
He's over the hill.
Now he's old, but hey, for a couple $1 million, Leicester City can. You know what's funny is I can pronounce cities correctly. I cannot pronounce names of players correctly.
I'm aware of that.
I just realized that right now. Everton, they got to start out their season hot. This is, they got to make noise.
They've lost some players, though. Last year they lost Fellaini, Jagielka.
They got Romeo Lukaku permanently. He's the highest signing. They still have Jagielka.
Leighton Baines.
They still got Leighton Baines.
Tim Howard.
They still got Tim Howard.
For maybe one more
year. They have Gareth Barry.
Yeah, I don't know how much
Seamus Coleman.
I wouldn't put too much stock into those two.
Oh, dude, come on now.
I like the Aiden McGeady.
Eden McGeady.
Aiden McGeady?
Aiden is American. He's Irish. It's Eden McGeady.
Eden McGeady!
Eden McGeady! Eden! Come eat! Yeah, so Everton is going to be good for their season to start out right. They do have to travel on the road to Leicester City, newcomers to the Premier League who will try to make some noise. Potential relegation battle between QPR and Hull City, although QPR has bounced back to the Premier League. They were down for a year. They've come back. Looks like they will keep Loic Remy, who they were unable to sell.
And that's not a problem for QPR.
That's a good thing. Yeah, they'll have Julio Cesar.
And you got a bunch of guys coming back from
loans. Yeah.
That were out.
Yeah, because they couldn't afford to pay while they're down in the championship. But now that they successfully came back up, which they made in a playoff against
Wigan.
No, was it Wigan?
Yeah, it was Wigan.
It was Wigan. Yeah.
Okay. I think QPR, they're gonna finish mid-table, in my opinion.
Okay.
I know you're not a lover of QPR very much.
They're from London, so no.
Okay, whatever. I think they finish mid-table. I don't think they were relegated this year. I think they stay up, and I think possibly next year they make a big signing. They got the money to do so.
Yeah, it's QPR. They do have money. At one time they were the prestige of English soccer at one point.
West Ham versus Spurs. I hate Spurs.
So do I.
Shawn hates Spurs.
That's my rival. So
the question is, they're still relevant. So the question is,
they spent $100 million.
The question is,
and they still finished lower than ours.
Are they going to go top 4, top 5?
No. I can tell you who's going to be top 4, top 5, and Spurs ain't in it.
Right,
they sold their best player.
Give me your top 4.
No, we'll do that in a second.
All right, we'll do that afterwards.
Okay. West Ham, however, has made a bunch of signings. One of them we're going to tell you to watch out for. We were talking about this kid in the World Cup is Enner Valencia.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, West Ham's made a bunch of signings, some good signings, some low-key, like people have never heard of these guys, but you guys watch out. West Ham, it's another London team.
They still got Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll's hurt for 3 months.
He's hurt for 3 months. Steve Downing? Stuart Downing?
Stuart Downing, yeah. They got some good players.
So they're decent. They're not great.
The question is Wayne Hennessy still their goalie? Because if he is, they're probably going to give up some goals.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But West Ham plays that aggressive physical football, so it'll be interesting to see how that holds up. Spurs are notorious for looking good in the beginning of the year. They notoriously win games.
And then they're notorious for firing their manager in the middle of the year.
Yeah, they play Arsenal. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. Watch Spurs seasons. Go back and watch highlights. They look great. They play Arsenal. They lose. Then everything goes to crap. That's what happens to Spurs.
It's like the NFL. Once you lose that rivalry game, your ego is kind of crushed.
Yeah. Except in the NFL, you get to play your rival twice, which is a good thing. And here, you get to play your rivals twice, but when you lose the first time, it's not as easy because the games aren't 16 weeks within each other.
Points,
they're 38 weeks away. Yeah. So
You got Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. I think Arsenal easy win. But question for me is Tony Pulis.
Good manager.
Good manager, but he took a team that wasn't good at all.
He chose to take the job.
Great for him. And he took the team, moved them out of relegation.
Yeah, they had like, what, 4 points?
Yeah, moved them out of relegation and actually finished, I think, 3 or 4 spots out of relegation.
Then Aston Villa did the greatest.
Was it a fluke?
Yeah, it's a fluke. It's Crystal Palace.
I don't think it was a fluke.
Dude, the only thing I can say for Crystal Palace is that last year their top scorer from the championship was hurt all year. He had, remember, before the playoff, the year that they promoted, before the playoff,
he blew out the white guy, Murphy.
Yeah, he blew out his knee, so they'll have him back.
Yeah.
So that'll be a little different, but it's Crystal Palace, man.
I think they got a young, good goalie from Argentina who's never going to get playing time in Argentina. It's Moroni.
Yep.
I think he's a good goalie. I think that what's the dude that just bombed the penalty kick last year? God, he used to play for Southampton. Puncheon.
Oh yeah, Jason Puncheon.
Puncheon's pretty good. I mean, they're not bad.
Puncheon also played at Leeds, by the way.
Did he? Well, that's terribly upsetting to me.
But he played at Leeds like when we're talking like 13, 14-year-old.
So he wasn't that good. I think Palace stays up.
Okay. I don't think so.
Okay. Liverpool versus Southampton is our next one. This is a good game. The question for you, because we saw Liverpool just tear stuff apart last year because they had no Europa games. They had no
and they had the
Champions League, and they had Suarez. But with having to incorporate Capital One Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, and the EPL, how big of a difference does that make?
I'll tell you, it comes down to one man. That's Steven Gerrard. He's been there before. He's won the Champions League before. He's been in a season like this. They've got a manager in Brendan Rodgers who took Swansea City to the Europa League, so has dealt with a European schedule before. I think they'll cope. I won't say they'll be successful. Something is going to slip.
Eventually, something has to slip.
So whether it's the title, whether it's the league,
the depth's not there,
or whether it's Champions League,
yeah,
they will slip. They will make noise in one of these things. It'll either be in the league or to be in Champions League.
And for Rodgers, that you have to just choose which one you're going to go for at this point. Because Liverpool, how long has it been since they've been in Champions League?
Quite some time.
So you have to choose that. So you have to realize that you want to go for a EPL title, or do you want to go for a Champions League title?
Yeah. Well, if okay, I hate to say this, but from a Wenger playbook, Wenger for 8 years had to deal with the finances of the new stadium, having to sell players because they're trying to keep money in the bank, not be in debt. And Rodgers is going to have to do this. He's going to have to balance the hunt for 4th place with Champions League.
Yeah.
Because if you can stay in 4th or 3rd place,
yeah, you get the money for Champions
League. You're in it next year, and you can make noise in Champions League. If you try to go for the league and Champions League, you're probably gonna hurt
you're wearing out your starters basically.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have the depth to
I don't think they have
play great quality players all the time.
Attacking wise, I think they have some quality there, but I think defensively, they're already vulnerable as it is with Agger and Skirtle and all these guys.
Glenn Johnson's getting older.
Yeah, so I don't think they have the defensive depth.
I'm not too high on Mignolet either.
Hey,
so
he was my fantasy goal last year.
That's fine, but I'm sure he did. But
it's easy when you outscore people.
I'm not too high on him at all.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens this year. I mean, it could be a one and done. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Southampton, on the other hand, let go of so many good players. 1 to Liverpool.
Wait, we shouldn't. Hold on. 1 to Liverpool. Ricky Lambert, Adam Lallana.
Okay, 2 to Liverpool.
Yeah. Bye.
I was talking Lallana, but
okay, well,
if you want to go for the 37-year-old Lambert,
the guy that brought them to where they're.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, but. Yeah,
hey,
how much of a replacement?
They still got Jay Rodriguez. They got Morgan Schneiderlin. They got Gas and Ramirez. They're gonna be all right. Okay, it's Southampton. I know that they'll be all right because this is what Southampton does. They have been selling players their entire existence. They breed talent. They buy young talent. They bring them up through their academy. They go from 3rd place division. They get a team together. They go all the way up to the Premier League. They sell players. They're gonna stay up. They'll be all right. They're not going to make the early season noise like they did last year.
No, not a chance.
They should sign Chicharito. They should sign Chicharito.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And they also need to replace a creative midfielder like Adam Lallana. They do that, and they'll be all right. Because Luke Shaw, they already had his replacement. They also sold Callum Chambers to Arsenal, so they need to get some defensive help.
Understandable, but Callum Chambers was just a backup to Nathaniel Klein. So
Callum Chambers wasn't even in the team. He was in their academy.
Okay, so he's a backup,
he's
reserve,
a starter for Arsenal week 1.
Point of the matter is that when Southampton comes on the field, you're gonna have there was a surplus.
They're gonna have Bradford
at center
City
mid.
They're gonna have Bradford City on the field.
Shut up! Come on.
They're literally gonna have Bradford City. They're gonna have old guys, young guys, and guys nobody's heard of.
But listen up though. You got Jay Rodriguez, Gaston Ramirez, and Adam Lallana all playing the same position. So now you cashed in on your biggest
one.
Biggest
now you
guy.
can move them around.
Yeah,
that's right.
now you can move them around. So they made a smart decision in there. Schneiderlin is going to make them $20 million eventually.
Oh, next year.
Without a doubt. Yeah, he won't be there.
No.
But he'll make them money where they can sign more players and still stay in the league.
Yeah, they'll get $20 million
like
from
you
Arsenal.
said, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do. And they'll take that TV money. People forget. They don't take that TV money. They don't take that contract and they go buy players. They put it into their youth academy.
Yeah.
They go buy tons of. They go to like Madagascar and places you've never heard of.
This guy's out running the meerkats.
Yeah, they go find guys you've never heard of. And they bring them to their academy. They teach them to play football. They show them the right way. Then you know what? If Southampton gets relegated, guess what? They had 2 years in the Premier League. They got 120 million pounds in the bank. They put 80 of that into their youth academy. They spend 40 to get the players to go back to the Premier League. And guess what? Then when they go back, if they get relegated, they'll sell Schneiderlin. They'll sell Jay Rodriguez. They'll sell Gaston Ramirez. They'll sell those guys.
They'll sell them if they go down. Period.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying they're
not going to want to play there.
They'll get the money. And then they'll be right back with a whole new crop of young guys that people want to buy. That's what Southampton does. Theo Wilcock, Gareth Bale, Oxlade-Chamberlain, stars. We're talking about people with stars. All came from Southampton.
Yeah, sure.
Gareth Bale, at one time, this is the funniest story ever. Gareth Bale, at one time, was bought from Tottenham for $5 million. Arsenal bought Theo Wilcock for $7.5 million. At one point, somebody said, a British reporter said, that Spurs would have to sell Gareth Bale to Liverpool plus $5 million for Stuart Downing. Newsflash. Last year, Gareth Bale, one of the best players in the world, was sold for £100 million.
Stuart Downing went to West Ham for less than 10.
For unannounced, because that means Liverpool didn't want to announce how much money they lost on that player. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Different story.
Unbelievable amount of money.
Point being, Southampton will be all right. If they get relegated this year, I don't think they will. They'll be all right.
Liverpool was that close to cashing in on about £50 million on Stuart Downing.
Yeah.
And then they let him play one more year.
Yeah, and
it ruined everything. It ruined everything.
Next game is Newcastle versus Manchester City. I don't think City repeats. I think Newcastle wins this game.
I think the opposite. I don't know if City's going to repeat, but as far as the game goes, I think City wins the game, and I think Newcastle actually is in relegation danger.
I don't think so.
I think when you get rid of players like Caballé, you get rid of players like Demba Ba like they did last year, and Debuchy now. So you're basically just selling players and not signing anybody. They wanted Remy, they didn't get him.
I'm gonna take history.
They're lacking.
You know me with history.
But they're lacking strikers. They're lacking everything.
Every year, Alan Pardew. One year.
What a great manager.
He does crap.
He's a good manager.
I know, he's a great manager. He does crap. He gets injuries and stuff. He does crap. And people are like, oh, fire this guy. The chairman's talking about, we're taking away some of your responsibility. Da-da-da. The very next year, they're the most defensively sound team in the league. They're in Europa League. They're top 6 finish. Then the next year, they crap. And the people do the same thing. And then the next year, he does it again. And last year, they were crap. So I'm going to say this year, they make noise. I'm just going to say they bought Remy Cabella from Montpellier. They bought players. They bought more French players. No surprise there.
Yeah, shocking.
It's Arsenal and Newcastle. Arsenal and Newcastle own like the whole French national team besides Karim Benzema. But they bought more French players. They'll have players in. Cabella is a young player. He could be the next Caballé for Newcastle.
But he's not there yet.
Well, I'm just saying.
And they didn't finish well last year.
But that's why they're going to finish well this year. No. I'm just going to go, hey, history repeats
So you're saying like the San Francisco Giants of baseball. Last first.
Yeah, they'll be in
I understand.
Sixth place.
I understand.
I'm calling it right now. 6th place.
I do not agree. I do not agree whatsoever. As far as Man City goes, I don't like what they did in the offseason.
They got Frank Lampard. They cheated the rules.
No, yeah, because they sold him to New York on loan.
No.
Oh, they sold him to New York now. Now
let him go. He signs a contract with New York, and then City's like, oh yeah, we own New York. Hey, you guys want to loan us that player?
Shocking. I mean, give me a break. First of all, Lampard's not going to start for City. He will come in the 80th minute and probably make some damn noise.
Frankie Lampard, man.
Dude, I love Lampard. You know that. I love Lampard and Gerrard. Those are my my boys right there.
Giggs, Gerrard, Lampard,
Schulze.
Oh, Schulze's we're talking.
Well, that's long gone.
Schulze's Brett Favre. He's waiting to get his jersey.
Leave my boy alone.
Yeah, I agree. But City, look, here's the problem with City. They got no defense. They got D. Michaelis, Company. They sold Julian Lescott to West Ham. They got nobody.
They got
Michael
Zabaleta.
Richards. Dude, Zabaleta's their best defensive player. Natasic is so mediocre because he's young. They're probably going to sell him to somebody like Arsenal or another team, and then that guy is going to get 3 more years under his belt, and he's going to be a world-class player because they don't have. City doesn't have the patience.
We got to go
wait
through
for
this
players.
because after we're done with this, I got a couple top twos.
Okay, Burnley versus Chelsea.
Question for me.
First in the championship last year. First team to be relegated this year. Calling it.
I won't disagree with you.
First team.
I will not disagree with you. I'm looking at their roster the last couple days. I looked at the rosters of Leicester, whatever you want. Leicester. Burnley and QPR. And out of those 3 teams, QPR was first, Leicester was second, and Burnley was definitely third.
Burnley is going to remind me of Blackpool a few years ago. They're going to score crazy goals.
Yeah, it's full-on attack.
They are going to score a lot of goals. They are going to give up so many they lose most of those games. They will draw against teams.
Maybe they'll beat Aston Villa because they have the same colors and it'll be confusing.
Yeah, no, they'll wear a different color. Chelsea is
Are they a legit title contender? Nope. I disagree.
Nope.
I disagree, and I don't like Chelsea. Obviously.
I like Didier Drogba.
Yeah, everybody likes Didier Drogba. Who's a soccer fan.
Yeah.
Football fan.
Football.
If you don't remember, Didier Drogba made one of the greatest headers in the history of Champions League, I'm sure.
Chelsea's only Champions League title is because of that dude.
Yeah, not to mention the penalty kick that he won.
Yeah, but they would have lost that game.
Yeah, without it was 2-1.
No, it was 1-0.
1-0.
And he tied the header in the 88th minute.
Was he a sub that game? No, he started.
No, he started. No. Yeah. The thing is, here's what I said. Okay, Chelsea Mourinho does sound business. They sell $76 million worth of players. They spend $84 million.
Here's my problem with Mourinho. $8 million. You keep a guy like Fernando Torres, and you completely let go.
He was good at Liverpool, so Mourinho must see something.
Fine. Whatever. He sees something. Obviously hasn't showed yet, though.
Okay, if Fernando Torres goes back to the form he had at Liverpool, Diego Costa up front, I'm sorry.
Diego Costa. Dude, I'm all about Diego Costa on Chelsea.
I don't think so. I hate to say that, but
how do you let go of a guy like Samuel Eto'o? Let him just become a free agent and sign with anybody.
They got Diego Costa.
He's going to Liverpool.
Yeah, probably. Here's what's going to happen. I'll show you a list of players that at the time when Chelsea bought them were like the world class. I will show you what they've done in their Chelsea careers. Nothing. Diego Costa is going to do the same thing.
It's a system thing, and they bought the wrong players because they're playing in the right system at the time.
Diego Costa's not a single striker. They have one player who can play single striker.
What I'm saying is when you buy players, you have to make sure they fit in your system.
Yeah, Diego Costa is not a single striker. He needs service. He needs creative midfield. And Chelsea drops back 10, puts one up front.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So,
if they play Diego Costa and Didier Drogba up front.
No, it would be Diego Costa and Torres. Drogba thrives in the sit-back pounce. You saw what he did in Champions League.
No, yeah, I did. That's what he does. Of course,
I did. Barcelona.
Even played at Galatasaray against Man U, so I did see it firsthand.
That's what he does.
So I understand your point. All right, so we got who's your 3 relegations?
My 3 relegations are going to be Burnley, Stoke City, and Hull. Okay. I wanted to say Norwich, but I was right on them last year.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate because
Actually, you know what? I'm going to take this out. I'm going to switch this up. I'm going to say Burnley. I hate to say this, Swansea City and Hull.
That hurts. I'm going to go with Burnley. I'm going to go with Sunderland.
Ooh.
And honestly, I think I'm going to go with Leicester.
I'm switching mine again. This is it. I can't look at these teams anymore.
Like 3 times, dude.
No, because it's hard to make up my mind. That third relegation spot is hard. Okay, I'm gonna go Burnley. They're gonna be the first team relegated. They're gonna be the first ones out. Okay, they'll before the season's over, they'll already know they're relegated.
16 points.
I'll take Hull City. I don't know about 16. I'm taking like 31 for Burnley, something like that.
Now they're gonna get destroyed.
Okay, and I'm gonna go Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace is in the same situation they were in last year, where they fight it out, and this time they can't do it.
Okay.
They drop out.
All right, so I got Burnley, Leicester, and Sunderland.
And I'll take Palace, Burnley.
I think Stoke stays up because I believe Stoke has the record right now, right?
What?
Of besides the top teams of staying up in the Premier League.
No, Aston Villa.
Oh, they've never been relegated, right?
Yeah.
Never. Okay.
If we're not talking top 6, yes, Aston Villa has the record.
Okay.
They've never ever been relegated.
All right.
Which was close last year, but
it was extremely close the year before. Forget last year.
So one thing I want to say before we move on. Okay, one thing I know you hate this, but Arsenal won the FA Cup, right?
Sure.
We've got 2 trophies in 3 months. Prior 9 years before that, nothing. But
I was gonna say, yeah, you have 2 trophies in 10 years.
In 9 years.
Or whatever.
2 trophies in 3 months. We have 3 World Cup winners on our squad. Okay. Have you ever heard of the phrase champagne fever?
Yeah, right.
It's where players get addicted to winning. Kind of like the 90s Bulls. Kind of like Manchester City when they won their title.
I like how you tried to win me over with that.
I'm just saying. When a Man City wins the FA Cup, then they win the title their first time. Okay, you look at
they had
Manchester
a lot of
United.
Backing.
Manchester United wins the FA Cup in 1990, goes on to win 20 championships. Okay,
that's good coaching.
It's called champagne fever. Players get addicted to winning. Look at the New England Patriots with nobody on their team. You could look at multiple teams that hadn't really done anything.
When you have the, I don't want to say the word pedigree, but when you have the tradition of winning, you come to a team expecting to win. So that's confidence. I understand.
Trophies, more than FA Cup, more than anyone else.
I understand. It's confidence. It's ego. If you go as a quarterback or as a running back, you go to the Patriots or you go to the Steelers. Or if you go to a team that's traditionally just like the Yankees, you know what I'm saying? Then you think you're going to win. And confidence is everything in sports. Yeah, you can't walk up to the plate going, oh, crap, I played for the Royals and I'm not going to win.
If a player has a choice between Arsenal, Man United, and Chelsea, when we talk about pedigree, Arsenal or Manchester United's first.
No, you talk about pedigree. I think Arsenal's first because they're a youth system.
Okay, no, I'm saying like when you talk about expectancy to win, you got Manchester United, high expectations because of what Alex Ferguson did. You talk about second in that would definitely be Arsenal. Then third would be Chelsea because of their capability to win.
Yeah, right? They have the
now when you talk about overall pedigree, Manchester United and Arsenal are the 2 heavyweights of English soccer. Liverpool, if they can return, they are the 3. When you talk about English soccer around the world, people know Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, and they know Manchester United because of Ferguson. They know Liverpool because of Kenny Dalglish. Both those coaches are gone. They know Arsenal because of Arsene Wenger, and that dude is still coaching, and he's still there.
Yeah, I understand completely. The thing for me is that with the backing that they have, City is going to become one of those teams. And it's very unfortunate to me because I'm a Man U fan, obviously, here. But I'm sorry to say it. City's going to become one of those teams.
All right, so top 4.
Okay. I hate to even do this. I hate to even do it. City wins. Arsenal second. Chelsea third. Man U fourth.
All right. I'll take that. I'm going to say Arsenal first. Man U second.
Dude, I can't even believe that you even put Man U in the top.
Man U second. Liverpool third. City fourth.
They're not in Champions League next year.
Liverpool? I'm taking Liverpool. I think they bomb out on Champions League and they focus on the league. That's just my opinion.
Notice how Spurs wasn't in that conversation
Spurs will never be in my top anything because I hate them. Just we won the league at White Shart Lane.
White Shart? I like it.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's a good one.
Well, they say, the actual S word.
Funniest thing to me is you're supposed to be unbiased.
No,
while we're doing
I'm not unbiased. But, hey, Tony, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers.
No,
are you biased? Yes.
A little
Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. I'm pretty biased on that. Okay.
Let's get to other things really quick, and then we'll get back in.
Real Madrid won the Super Cup versus Sevilla. No surprise there.
Oh, Lord. Big deal. Tony Stewart killed the driver.
That's sad. 20-year-old kid.
Unbelievable. when you watch the replay of this,
that dude hit him. He put him into the wall, and then he figured he's just gonna graze him, and he drifted it just a little too wide.
I don't want to go too much into this because it's something that is not
manslaughter. It's not a joke.
It's something that's not played out completely yet. I understand. He's an ass. But the point of the matter is it's not played out yet. So we'll get back into it maybe next week when we do the NFL thing.
Well, when it goes down, when there's a legal case against this man, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Because I think Tony Stewart, I'll say it right now, I think that man should go to jail for vehicular manslaughter.
Here's what I love saying, and I haven't said this in a very long time. The first place Kansas City Royals.
Oh, man.
That is a beautiful statement out of my mouth. It really is, because I'm a White Sox fan. You're a Twins fan. We're both in the same division.
As long as the Tigers aren't winning it.
You're in last. I'm in second to last.
As long as the Tigers aren't winning it, I would be happy saying Cleveland Indians. I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The Royals, it just makes it that much sweeter.
Yeah, because you didn't see them win since the 80s and George Brett. Yeah. I mean, come on. And
Bo Jackson.
I can't wait till the playoffs and the Royals are there and they wear the powder blue.
Oh, I have a Kansas City Royals hat.
Oh, man.
I'm breaking it out.
Oh, I'll go buy a Royals jersey.
I have a Royals hat that is still brand new because I worn it like twice. And it's not because I'm a Royals fan. I bought it for something completely different. But trust me, that hat will get broke out to make it to the playoffs. In fact,
I like it.
They make it to the playoffs. I might just pick. I hope they play the A's.
That'd be awesome. That would be so cool. I'm still picking the A's.
No, that's fine. But I'm saying I would love to see them versus the A's.
So we got our NFL season preview next week. You guys are getting amped up for NFL, I'm sure, as we all are. Watching preseason to me was just a huge excitement. Seeing guys like
NFL's
my rookie
people
favorites.
You work with are talking about preseason games, the draft.
Oh yeah, dude, I love watching the Bears pick up young guys. Hold on, I love watching them pick up young guys or drafting young guys and then seeing them play in the third quarter just to see what they're made of. You know what I mean? I fast forward games that I DVR just for that reason. I don't care about the starters. I know what they're gonna do.
Did you see my boy Dree Archer catch that 46?
I did not.
Pass? Oh man, dude's fast.
Here's the question for you: Who was the leading rusher for the Chicago Bears Week 1
this year?
Yeah,
Jordan Lynch. A
man who towered over everybody in college looks like Danny Woodhead in the NFL, and I love it because it reminds me of Woodhead. It reminds me of the young, small white guys that play running back.
Does our bet start Week 1? Does Johnny Manziel start Week 1 for the Cleveland?
That would be awesome.
Because then you have 3 years.
Here's the greatest thing that I saw today. Okay, let me tell you about it. I don't know if you saw it or not. You might have. Brian Hoyer refused to take Manziel under his wing because it's a quarterback competition, obviously. So what did they do? They went out and signed a veteran quarterback to teach Manziel. The worst quarterback they could possibly choose, Rex Grossman. Oh. That's what they did today. They signed Rex Grossman to teach Johnny Manziel. And if that is any indication
you want to pay me $500
on how this is going to go, that he's going to turn over.
If he makes it, I'll pay it back.
Yeah, no, it's not going to work. I'm sorry. But the thing I love is that Hoyer,
start Week 1.
When they signed Grossman, Hoyer's reaction was angry. Like, he was just mad. And he knows for a fact that this competition is becoming a lot closer than he thought it was going to be to start.
I think people underestimate Brian Hoyer because Kirk Cousins.
Oh, you can underestimate all you like.
Kirk Cousins did the same thing to him at Michigan State, and I will tell you that Brian Hoyer.
Underestimate him.
He's just all he needs to do is play a game, okay? Because it sucks for Cleveland because Week 1 is versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, so it sucks for Brian Hoyer or Johnny Manziel.
I hope Johnny Football comes in and just beats the Steelers. That would be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. That starts the bet. That starts the bet. That would be the greatest thing ever.
Hey, if Johnny Manziel, here's the deal. Johnny Manziel, if he comes into the game, if he doesn't start, if he comes into the game.
What if he starts and wins?
No. We're talking about if he comes in. If he comes into the game and comes back and beats the Steelers, if he brings them to the playoffs, I'll pay you $1,000.
Oh, you don't even have $1,000.
I do too.
I don't want your $1,000. I don't want your $1,000. Let's make it this way: if Johnny Manziel comes in, beats the Steelers, or starts and beat the Steelers, if he doesn't make it to the playoffs, it goes down to $250.
This year?
You cut it in half.
This year?
In general, in the three.
Oh, okay. But if he's got to start or play and win the first week
against the Steelers.
Okay, deal.
If it happens, it cuts everything in half.
Okay, that's a deal.
All right, cool.
You know what the headlines will be in Pittsburgh?
I don't care.
It's not going
to be good.
The worst day in history. All right, so let's go back to the EPL. Let's do our top 3.
Yeah, I got more. I got a lot more. Go ahead.
What do you got? More on football?
No, I got more on EPL.
Oh, okay. Top 3 scorers this year in the EPL. You got to break out that list of yours.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
You can go ahead then.
Okay. All right, so your number 3. Why don't you start out with your number 3?
My number 3 is Wayne Rooney.
Oh, I like that pick.
The only reason I say it's Wayne Rooney is because RVP is injured every 2 seconds.
Told you.
Yeah, I know. He's a great addition to a team if he stays healthy. Exactly. I think Wayne Rooney had a horrible year compared to the rest of his years at Man U last year, and I think it was a system thing, honestly. So with Van Gaal, I think he's going to put more trust into Rooney, and Rooney's going to score a lot more goals.
Captain Rooney.
Yeah,
I like that. My number 3 is Christian Benteke. Here's a guy that was injured last year, scored 20 goals in his first season in the EPL. He's a beast in the box. He's a Luis Suarez kind of shoot from anywhere kind of guy. He's Aston Villa's focus, and because he's a good target man, and he is the target man, I got Christian Benteke number 3. Sorry. Who's your number 2?
My number 2 would be Diego Costa.
Ooh, I like that.
My number 2, Diego Costa, is because at Atletico, he destroyed people. He destroyed the defense.
La Liga? We're talking about La Liga?
Yeah, he destroyed defenses.
Welcome to the Premier League, Diego Costa.
Unfortunately, in the World Cup,
he was injured.
Yeah. So you didn't get to see what he had to do or what he could do. Yeah. I think with Chelsea and Mourinho's he's a pretty damn smart coach. He's gonna find a way to make Diego Costa a top scorer in the league.
Hey, before we go on to my number 2, you hear about PSG is gonna sign Wayne Rooney and sell his money to Man U?
Nope.
I hear that all the time, but it looks like it might happen.
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyways, my number 2 is Daniel Sturridge. I like this kid. I like his little dance. He's a good guy. He's a good scorer. He doesn't bite people.
The worm.
Yeah, the worm, dude. And you know what? He's gonna be the focus. And it's not like he doesn't have help because he's gonna have Ricky Lambert there, who's an unselfish scorer.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Daniel Sturridge. I think Daniel Sturridge probably scores over 20 goals again. I think Daniel Sturridge will probably be the most sought after player next year.
Really?
Like worldwide. Not saying in the EPL, but like teams like Inter or Juventus.
Oh, they're going to make their bids, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool sells them. I'm just saying that they...
Okay.
A lot of money for Daniel. We're talking like 50 million Daniel Sturridge type thing.
Okay, let's go to my number 1. I want to hold up my glass as I cheers you for this. Here's my number 1. Theo Walcott.
Whoa!
Theo Walcott, number 1.
My boy!
Here's the only reason. You got Giroud up front, which is great. However, you have Sanchez on the other side now. So, you have to take into account both wings.
I like that pick.
Walcott with the speed, Sanchez with the speed. There's no more doubling up on Walcott.
There's no more doubling. No, yeah, that's true. You can't
and a guy who scored somewhere in between 10 and 20 goals normally, getting doubled, can possibly double that.
14 to 20
possibly
goals
double
every time
that.
He's doubled. Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true.
I'm not the biggest Arsenal fan. I do like Arsenal, but I love Theo Walcott.
You know, here's what I'm going to say. I'll go to my number 1 is Olivier Giroud. Okay. But we'll go on to this point, and you're right. Okay, so we got Theo's healthy. Sanchez and wing. We got the speed. No more doubling, right? You got 2 players that are dangerous. I don't know if anyone knows about soccer, but you can.
Green.
Yeah, but if you look at that space to get that there, okay, you need somebody who's good at holding up the ball, who can shoot, who can do the tricky passes. Giroud's that guy. So that's why I got him number 4. But to even get there, you need a midfield. And when we talk about world-class midfield, we got Ozil, Santi Cazorla.
There's players that can service.
Yeah, you got Mikel Arteta, Jack Wilshere, Aaron Ramsey's going to be healthy.
Understandable.
You've got Jack Wilshere,
and it's not
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
It's not just the starters either, because you just named about 5 or 6. So now the subs that come in are still the same amount, the same caliber. That's not a midfielder. That's a striker.
Anyways, he's still sub.
Point of the matter is that the subs that come in are the same caliber
as
service
the
players that start.
That's right.
So yeah, I agree. Giroud could be. You never know.
I think Giroud scores, and I'm not going to say over 30. I'm not going to say we're going to the Suarez, RVP, Ronaldo years, right? But I'm saying like 26, 28 from Giroud.
Yeah.
Because people forget Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp. We're talking about great Arsenal scorers. Their first seasons, second season, okay. Third season, who is this guy? Because he's awesome.
All right, but Henry played kind of more of a Walcott.
But then he got moved to central striker later in his career when he was striker.
I'm just saying.
These players, they eased into it, and then they became Arsenal legends. And Giroud in his first year, and then in his second year, has gradually increased his play. He's worked on the things, and you just saw in the FA Cup, he just took a shot from 35 yards. He just gets the ball, he turns, he dribbles. He's like, oh, I'm going to shoot it. Boom, in the goal. And that's the type of confidence that he feeds off of because he's a confidence kind of player. And if you've got guys that are, because Walcott and Sanchez are going to score their goals.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And when you get that kind of pressure off of you, because remember last year when Ramsey got hurt and Walcott got hurt, he was the guy. He had to be the scorer. And when he wasn't, his confidence went down.
Unfortunately, that's not what he does, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But his confidence went down because he wasn't scoring. But when you've got other players that can do that, you got the Santi Carzolas,
as a tall striker, you have to have the service. Yeah. He's a tall striker. He gets headers. He gets a lot of headers, actually. So you have to have the service. And they didn't have the service last year with the injuries. So yeah, I understand your point. I want to go into this really quick before we go. I think this is a very exciting, fun category to go for. Give me your most underrated player in each position.
Okay.
You want me to start out, or you want to go?
Yeah, give me just start out one position.
All right, I'll go with right back, and I'll go with Nathaniel Klein from Southampton.
Okay.
I think that the move from Crystal Palace was underrated because nobody thought he was going to be as good as he is.
Yeah.
And give him 1 or 2 more years, and you might see this guy playing on a national team.
All right. I'm going to go with an Arsenal player.
Okay.
Who's just got loaned out.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go Carl Jenkinson.
Jenkinson.
Okay, because he's a young guy. He's deputized well for Sanya, but they brought somebody in to kind of show up the spot. They sent him out on loan, and I think this is a guy that really improves his class, getting more first-team action.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back to Arsenal as a great player.
I'm going to go with goalie next, and this is funny because I'm going to pick an Arsenal player, a former Arsenal player, Fabianski.
Oh, okay. That's good. I like that pick.
I think with Chesney there, he didn't get any time.
And they're born on the same day.
There's nothing you could do.
He's a year older than Chesney, born on the same day, and he never got to play.
I think Anders Lindegaard is a great goalie. The point of the matter is he plays behind De Gea.
Yeah, he doesn't get to play.
Thibaut Courtois played behind Cech. He got loaned out. Now, I'm sure Courtois is going to be the goalie.
Going to be pissed.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Who's your goalie?
It's a tough pick. I'm going to go with Speroni.
Yeah, Speroni's a good one.
He's part of the reason Crystal Palace stayed up last year.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
He's a good goalie.
100%.
He has a crappy defense, but he's a good goalie.
And I don't understand why.
You said he'll never get a shot for Argentina, but he should.
Yes, he should. That's why I was just going to say I don't understand why he's not on the roster as even a third.
He started more games last year than Romero did.
Well, yeah, Romero started 3
for
Monaco.
Speroni doesn't get a shot.
All right, my left back would be Azpilicueta.
Okay, Cesar Azpilicueta from
I think
Chelsea.
that everybody thought he was going to be awesome, and he's kind of
flown
under the radar. But I think this kid, in 1 or 2 years, like Nathaniel Klein, is going to be hot shit. So hot shit.
Yeah.
Don't say Luke Shaw and piss me off.
No. I'm trying to think. Man.
I'm going to go for a Man
I'm going to go with Seamus Coleman of Everton. That guy is young and he's good. And, people don't, when they talk Everton, they talk Leighton Baines. They don't, Tim Howards, they don't talk. They're talking Ross Barkley. He's the same age as Coleman. Coleman's tight.
It's funny.
He's a defensive player.
I was going to midfield, and I put this mark here for a reason, because I think that both of us were going to pitch.
All right.
Ross
Let's
Barkley.
go center back first.
All right.
Center back. I'll start with center back.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to say underrated position player, and this is absolutely ridiculous, but he's old, but I don't think he gets as much credit as he should.
You're going to kill me. What is it?
Julian Lescott just got sold to West Ham. That dude is a good defender.
Oh, yeah.
He's better than D. Michaelis.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And I think he's always done a great job. The problem is he's not a vocal guy like Company was, but he just does his job quietly, goes about, does his job, doesn't really make mistakes.
He's a winner.
He's a winner.
He's a winner.
Yeah.
Also, I think for center back, you're not gonna like it, but being behind guys like Manjovic and Rio Ferdinand, I think that Phil Jones is gonna be a hell of a center back.
I like Phil Jones,
especially
after
this year. A lot better
than Chris Smalling.
Yeah. Well, Smalling and Evans have their issues.
Yeah. Evans is better.
Phil Jones, being behind those two, just got to learn from the best, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of too many guys that are better center backs in the Premier League.
Terry.
Well, Terry's great, but too many guys, like I said, that are better than Ferdinand and Vidic was. So Phil Jones got to learn under him, kind of like Steve Young under Montana, and we'll see what he does this year.
Okay.
So, midfield. Are you going to stray away?
No, I want to hear what you say.
Ross Barkley.
I like the Ross Barkley pick, but I don't know if I'm going to agree with you there.
All right, I'm going to go with Barkley, or let's give my team another shout out. Ander Herrera.
Okay, I don't like that pick.
No, I'm sure you don't. I think Ross Barkley.
I like the Barkley pick.
Yeah, he's next World Cup, dude's going to be hot stuff for England.
Yeah,
watch.
He's a really good player.
Don't know why he didn't start every game this year in the World Cup. We can't. I don't want to even go back into that.
Really good young player.
I don't even want to go back into that. Because that's just too irritating for me.
Can I say Aaron Ramsey?
Yeah, you can say Ramsey.
Because Ramsey, he broke his leg. He missed 3 years. Like he was. But now he's shown last year before he got injured. He was awesome.
Yeah, I'll give you Ramsey.
He's come into his zone, and that dude. When you talk about Arsenal for the last couple of years, you never brought up Aaron Ramsey. This year, Aaron Ramsey is a central defensive midfield player who can kick your butt. He's aggressive. He's box to box, and he doesn't stop running. There's a reason why in the FIFA game he's the only player in the Premier League with the high motor stat.
Yeah.
Because he just runs.
I understand. Another guy I would put into the category, since there's so many midfielders in the Premier League, is Adnan Januzaj.
Oh, yeah, young guy.
19 now, 18 when he started.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sky's the limit, and I don't think Man U's going to sell him. I think that's going to be a homegrown product that stays there. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be like that type of Ryan Giggs or Paul Scholes that stays around for a long, long time.
I know he's technically a midfield player, but he also plays on the wing. I'm going to say Raheem Sterling.
I like it. He would be a striker if he didn't play in Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't think he has the size to play striker. So I think
there's no strength there.
He's a good midfield player, and he has the speed. He's creative. He's not afraid to shoot the ball. He's learning from the best in Steven Gerrard. He got to play with Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge at the same time, so he got to see how to strike the ball. He's got to pick up some skills. He just got to play on the World Cup. He got to start in the World Cup. So we got to be and see against and play against and play with some of the best world-class players in the world. I really like, I don't really like Liverpool. I don't mind them. I don't really like them because they are a direct title rival. But I like to see them take young players like that and actually have good players. When I see Steven Gerrard a Liverpool guy, play for Liverpool his whole career and win Champions League, he hasn't won the title yet. But then I see Raheem Sterling, he's kind of got that same oomph behind it.
I ruined it.
What?
I ruined it. I had my boy picked out, and then I realized he was relegated. But then I realized that he got sold back up.
Who?
My boy for midfield was Robert Snodgrass.
Oh, Snodgrass plays for Hull City.
I didn't know that.
Snodgrass
he's a good player. Let's go to striker real quick. I know you're going to pick Yaya Sanogo. Let's hear it. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Hey, dude. That guy looks good. Hey, I'm not saying that just because I'm an Arsenal fan, because when they signed him,
he's good.
When they signed him, I was like, what are we doing? This guy plays, and yeah, he looks really awkward. He looks like a Peter Crouch, but he's good. He's shown it more and more, especially in the FA Cup game and in the Community Shield. He's really shown, he played in the Champions League game against Bayern Munich, and he didn't look that bad. And the thing is that's the type of player that when this kid's 23, he's played 5 years in the Premier League, he's going to be a really good striker. And people are like, well, I guess I'll go for 25 million. Or some wingers be like, no, I'm good. My starter, my Thierry Henry. And he's going to grow up. Think about it. He's going to grow up playing with Ramsey, Wilshere, Ozil. These guys are all in their prime. Walcott, Sanchez, Giroud. We're talking about players up front that are all young. And they're all going to play 5-6 years together. And he's going to play with them. And then when these guys start to leave or they retire or go to other places and they're hitting their 30s, he's 23. He's the Walcott age. And he's just, you know what I mean? So I really like Yaya. The best Yaya in the Premier League.
The best Yaya in the Premier League.
I'm saying that all year.
You are sadly mistaken. There are two.
I bet you Arsenal doesn't forget his birthday.
Are we really going there?
100%. Best Yaya in the Premier League. Give me your striker.
I have a guy picked out, but I don't think it would be underrated.
Don't think it's Chicharito.
No, it's not Chicharito. I want to say Ricky Lambert, just because they didn't start him at Southampton.
Oh, well, you can't pick Ricky Lambert, dude.
Why not?
That dude is known in England. Everyone knows who Ricky Lambert is.
Yeah, in England.
Yeah, well, we're talking about underrated.
Nobody who's a soccer fan in America knows who Ricky Lambert is.
Okay, I'll give you that. Nobody knows who Ricky Lambert is besides you and I. Because I guarantee you people on FIFA,
2 or 3 other
when
people.
they play with Liverpool now,
there ain't no Ricky Lambert. They weren't even playing Ricky Lambert on Southampton.
That's what I'm saying. They're playing Jay Rodriguez because it's 78 and Lambert's a 75. They have no clue. It's like, why would you play with Yaya Sanogo? But I whooped your butt the other day in FIFA with Yaya up front. He scored 2 goals.
And we're going to rectify that right after this show.
No, we're not.
I'll go for, can I say Danny Welbeck?
Yeah, Welbeck, he's...
I'm going to go with Danny Welbeck.
All I can think of is
Look, I know.
He's in the corner.
I know, dude.
It's like so bad.
But his skills are ridiculous.
And he's got the motor, too.
The problem is that he messes up at the most inopportune time.
Yep.
And it just glares on him.
He looked good in the World Cup.
It glares on him, though.
He looked good in the World Cup.
It's unfortunate that he was playing with so many players that shouldn't be starting.
Yeah, on the World Cup.
Because I would imagine that he probably scored a few more goals.
Yeah, he looked really good.
He doesn't get Man U starting time. There's a couple guys underneath him that were even starting over him that are young guys that I'd never even heard of.
I'm gonna got one guy.
All right, go ahead.
Edin Dzeko.
Come on, man.
Super sub.
Nah, that's the super sub. That's the point. That's not
City.
underrated.
Okay. Steven Houvetic.
Houvetic's not underrated either.
I'm just thinking of Man
if
City
you
guys.
know
I'm talking about Man City guys that
football,
aren't
if
start.
you know soccer, that's not underrated. That's like saying Chicharito's, it's not underrated.
I can't go through any Tottenham players.
Yeah, I'm looking around and I'm like, the guys that are underrated, I'll give you Yaya because you have the option between him, Giroud, Podolski. You can even put Walcott, Sanchez up front.
Yeah.
With Welbeck, you can have Rooney, Van Persie, Chicharito. There's choices there.
That's it.
Yeah, there's choices.
Yeah.
Point of the matter is that I can't think of that young striker that's going to be up and coming.
Andres Wyman of Aston Villa.
He's young.
Okay. I don't know about
I
underrated.
saw him score a friggin' screamer last year. I'm like, are you thinking of the same goal I am?
Yeah.
30 yards from the... I was like 40 yards. And it hit the top of the post and went in. Yeah. It was insane. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
It's one of those balls that the goalie's like, that's not go. Oh, crap.
Basically.
It just went in.
Basically.
They look at it like, it's going over the... He looks at his defense. He's like, guys...
Yeah, right. All goalies do is yell at the defense. Like, why didn't you stop that?
Yeah, why did you jump 80 feet in the air?
Yeah, jeez.
It's like the, what's that? This is a couple years ago when Papa Cisse scored that. Scored the I Praise Allah goal where he shot it from the left side of the field with the opposite
side
curve.
Of the foot, yeah.
Opposite curve past Peter Cech and into the other side of the net with the opposite curve. We're talking not... He's right-footed, so his curve should be this way. His curve and this way, and then he went down and he kissed the ground. And it's like, I praise Allah, I can do things you can't, whatever. But yeah, that's the type of goal. The goalie just like looks at his defense like, how come you didn't stop that? Like, there's no stopping goals like that.
Sorry, how did you not see the ball from 40 yards away?
It's kind of like in football when the quarterback, not Jay Cutler. I'm just throwing it out there. No, but
stop hating.
No, when a quarterback throws like the perfect ball. Like,
and the guy drops it.
No. I'm saying when he throws a perfect ball and there's nothing you can do. Like the Santonio Holmes catch Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like the perfect ball, right? And the guy catches it, and the cornerback or the safety look at each other like, you blew him covered. It's like, no, dude, you weren't gonna do anything. You could have been all over him.
Balls over the top. Doesn't matter. It's over your shoulder.
Yeah, we're not talking the Kaepernick to Crabtree in the end zone thing.
One more thing, just to grease your wheels a little bit here before we go, because we're gonna leave now. The Bears' third receiver, Marquise Wilson, got injured, so today they worked out Santonio Holmes for the third receiver.
It's not bad if you want him throwing beer bottles at people, smoking weed in the nightclub. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, as long as he doesn't shoot himself in the leg, Plexico.
Him and Brandon Marshall get along great to each other.
Brandon Marshall's a different man nowadays.
Yeah,
buddy.
Borderline personality, never going to be a different person.
Touchdown after touchdown. That's all I gotta say.
Got great hands.
My name's Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
Thanks for watching Smacktalk. Stay tuned next week.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, I screwed it up?
Yeah, you screwed it up, man.
The bounce.
Record the whole show.